This is why I tell people to do what's right for you, especially as it pertains to anything that you put your money or your effort into. Now, probably about 2 months ago, I asked a question or a couple of questions here via multiple videos about keeping a bull, when to introduce a bull to a set of cows, all that, just from my own general knowledge, right? I don't own land. I don't own any animals, just so I can have that basic knowledge. The overwhelming majority were saying, hey, don't get a bull, do AI. If you do have a bull, you got to keep them separate. And you only need to calve either one of 2 times in the year, either in the spring or if you're in a certain area where it'll work in the winter time, so on and so forth. And me being a novice, of course, I'm taking that advice to heart because everybody's saying it. And I feel like at a certain point, if the majority of people are doing it and they're successful, you can't really you can't say that their advice is wrong. But my nature is to not stop looking at something just because I have an answer. I'm an engineer by trade. We look at everything from multiple angles. Even once we figured out the math, we always try to hit it from another couple angles to make sure that that's the correct answer, or at least the answer that works for the situation that we're in. Tell me why I've started to see more people talk about not separating their bull, not worrying about calving season, having a bull available to service the cows at all times of the year, not keeping it separate because they want to be able to sell calves throughout the entirety of the year. And you would think this is just cow-calf operations, but it's not just cow-calf operations. It's beef operations that want to be able to take steers to slaughter multiple times a year. And the reasoning, when you sit down and think about it, actually makes sense, right? If everybody's bringing in, we talked about supply and demand on my YouTube channel. If everybody's bringing in all of their calves in the fall or all of their calves in the spring or whenever that timing works out from when it's born to when it's available to be weaned and sold, that means the demand is going to be high. The demand is going to be low because the supply is going to be high. So the price is going to drop. Same thing when it comes to steers. If everybody's finishing out their steers around the same time because they all reach the same around age because they were born around the same time, the same thing happens. And then you also get the backlog that happens in your processing plants. But if I decide to take my cow in to get processed on an off-peak time of year, yes, it might cost you more. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into it. It might cost you more, but at least you'll be able to get and provide beef to your customers or beef to yourself multiple times a year if necessary. Same thing with the calves. You'll be able to sell calves throughout the year. So whenever you take it to the sale barn, the ones who are looking for calves are going to be able to buy calves. And because the demand is going to be high because the supply won't be as high, then you'll want to be able to sell it for a better price, I think. Well, let me not say I think. These people on YouTube have showed me that that's what they're doing. So it all goes back to do what works for you and do what you think best fits your operation, no matter if everybody else is doing it or not, because you could be like one of these people who does it a little bit unconventionally and make a ton of money.